Right guys, it's going to be a 1080 Master Nightfall solo, getting the Platinum rank on a Hunter without the use of any pinnacle weapons or raid/hive mods. So this is going to be my last Savathun song solo ever, because this Titan and everything else associated with that planet's going to get sunset in just a couple of weeks. So this will be my last ever Nightfall solo on it. We've done Titan, we've done a Warlock already this week, so this is going to be the last one. As you saw from my build, which I'll just talk while I'm doing what I'm doing. As for resistance, damage resistance, obviously we're not using high barriers, so I recommend using ×2 boss resists and 3 concussive dampeners. Reason for that is the boss resists help out with the boss, of course, and they help out with champions. You can tank a bit more damage. It is noticeable compared to not having these on and then having them on. You tell a difference. Like, you can notice. Concussive dampener resists against a whole range of attacks, so we want that on as well. We've got 3 of those on. We're not looking to have a high discipline, high mobility, high recovery, none of that, because what's more important is being able to tank damage when you solo. Yeah, especially when we're using a sustained weapon like a auto rifle. With Ariana's Vow, you could get away with it because you can peek shoot with that weapon, but with an auto, even though how good this auto rifle is, you still want to be able to tank a little bit of damage. So with this section, we're going to blind the wizard. We're using Jotunn. As for weapons, we're using the Carbine weapon, which produces cells, and we're using Jotunn. Weed, Fallen Guillotine. As far as my perks, it's always the same with me. You emphasize weapon perks. So I've got all my scavengers, all my reserves, according to what my loadout is. Then for cell mods, we're using a global reach, which kickstarts the cell build off. Then you got Wrath of Rasputin, which I'll talk more about while we're doing it. Then we also have a high energy fire, counter charge with a shield break, light reactor, and ashes to assets for super regen. As you saw there, I basically made sure that I would have a super to then super the first champion, which gets in one shot, which is ideal actually, because we get in one shot, we then finish them off with the Carbine and we get a cell. You know, all we could have done with Jotunn. So that then produces a cell, and we can spawn kill all the adds for that section. Well, not all the adds, but the initial set of acolytes and stuff. The Thrall, the Cursed, spawn in slightly afterwards. Now, with the modifiers, with Martyr being on the Cursed and more tanky, which isn't a problem, as you can see, not too bad. As far as that, we have chaff on, so there's no radar. So you can get caught out by Thrall and stuff, but if you know all the spawns, if you know how many Thrall there is at the boss, you know all that, it doesn't matter about not having a radar, okay? Which, you know, I'm well rehearsed on this. We've been doing it for 3 years, so I know pretty much everything about, you know, this Nightfall in general. So we're going to kickstart this champion off with a Jotunn shot. Which Jotunn, I mean, I'm sure people realise this weapon is certainly like a meta weapon. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the strongest special weapons in the game. Mountaintop's retiring. So if you want a playstyle similar to a mountaintop but better, you know, since, you know, it's not just 1 in the mag, it's 5. Maybe it doesn't do as much damage. I mean, I haven't tested the 2 together, and Jotunn is an exotic, but there are great legendary weapons in the game. So Jotunn is one of the best weapons in the game, there's no doubt about it. We kept the cell there for the second set of Thrall, and we opened up the door by like the second door. There's like 3 doors in total. And we're going to bait in the next ogre, like so. We've got a Inferno Whip on, which I've got to mention. So we're going to use our throw knife for unstoppables. We're not using double primary, of course. We don't need to on this class on Gunslinger Hunter. You don't really need it. Getting your knife up a lot, because we've got Gambler's Dodge on, isn't a problem. We can always dodge next to an enemy or whatnot. Now with this particular champion, I had to disengage as I was pretty low in health. As you can see, the boss resist and the concussive dampener work and help me out. Otherwise I probably would have died at that point. That's why we disengaged, I was just too low. So, with this mod called Wrath of Rasputin, it works with all solar splash damage type weapons. The Jotunn is one, Xenophage is one. Xenophage is more consistent than Jotunn. Jotunn's kind of iffy, where you kind of want the damage over time to get the kill rather than the impact damage of Jotunn. I don't know that for certain, but I've just been using it like today with Jotunn, so I've only got a couple of hours experience with it. But I think it's the damage over time that's counting more often than the impact damage itself, whereas Xenophage, it's all explosive. Sunshot is another one. You can create a lot of cells with that, with the solar splash damage. So that's why we've got that on. This is also why we've got the auto on, because we can control when we get a cell and when we, when we want one and whatnot. We end up getting a cell in this room right now, which I didn't need, but I don't want to sell straight away because basically in this room, if you get a cell, you're going to wake up the wizard, and I don't want to wake up the wizard too soon. It's just because of the cell radius and stuff. That's the only thing. The cells don't penetrate match game shields. They shouldn't, I guess. But you want to get a couple of these acolytes down at least before you start making a cell. Now a cell is guaranteed every 5 minor kills. Yeah. And it's guaranteed for every yellow bar you kill. So if you kill a yellow bar, you guaranteed it. Now we get our cell, we took that out. Like I said, it would wake up the wizard, which isn't ideal for what I'm wanting to do, because my void is the sword, right? But Jotunn, with it being what it does, it can work out and do a match game shield for me. And we'll get a reload. Now we're on the first Shrieker Dunk, which isn't hard. This class is it's just really good for this Nightfall as a whole. As this Nightfall doesn't require Roman servers, it doesn't require, you're more doing things with your weapons. So having a one-shot server like this, it's not quite one-shot, but it's near enough on a champ, is very beneficial, as opposed to maybe Arc Strider or Void Military. Invis, bottom and top tree is very useful for it, but it's not needed. Not needed. If you want to go for the solo flawless, that's fine. Yes, it is. If you're hell bent on I must get solo flawless, that's fine. There's no additional rewards for you, so it doesn't matter. Either or. If Extinguish was on, yeah, we're gonna go Night Stalker. We might go Wendigo. We might go Truth Teller with blinding nades. We might tether the breakers or what have you. But for this, it's just not needed because this subclass is so good. For everything else, it outweighs having Night Stalker. However, if we were using, say, Oppressive Darkness with Xenophage, then that would be stronger than what we're using. Combine that with mods as well, like Hive Invigoration, Hive Repurpson, so we get a nade every champ. We're getting Oppressive Darkness. That's like a tether every champion, essentially, a debuff every champion. Combining that with Hive Armament, and you're getting Xenophage. So this is definitely a solo farm this week. You could get sub 20 on this. On a perfect run on the best absolute setup, you could get sub 20 minutes with the raid mod. So it's definitely a farm to an extent, and it's an easy Nightfall as well. So with this room, we're farming a cell up. We get our cell. The reason why is because I just want to take out these crystals quickly. What will happen is that will trigger the cell, it'll prep the champion for a shield break, which is also good. We can use sword ammo when we want to save on Jotunn. Jotunn ammo is kind of important for likes of this room because it's all from range. So if we can use our sword for anything, we will. Obviously we've got our ammo finders on. We have both sword ammo finder and special ammo finder. They're really important to have on. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of special bricks and stuff. So just to help out overall. Now with the first ogre, with the double ogre room, we get the ogre weak-ish. like, not weakish, sorry, we get like 5 to 10% of his HP off, then we do a Nighthawk. Reason for that is, we just Nighthawk straight off the bat, we won't get the kill, meaning we won't get half our super back. So that's why we've weakened. Now we're going to spam a bit of Jotunn under here. We got a cell. It's ideal. We want a cell there. It just clears out a lot of this room. We missed a shield break, but that was just the angle. Couldn't. That's fine. This auto with its range, my auto rifle has 4 times the charm vorpal on it, making it one of the best like weapons in the game for champions, and it can create a cell every champion. Combining that with counter charge, every time we get a stun or a unstoppable or an anti-barrier, we get 20% damage buff. Plus we can get a ×2 charge without any additional mods. So this combination of both the cell / Season of Dawn mods is a powerful build overall. So although I'm saying yeah, the Nightfalls are more difficult without rare mods, just know that these builds are no joke either. I've tried running this Nightfall with and without cell build, and every time with a cell build it's quicker than without. Not talking about like a Hive armament room. Without, you know, considering you haven't got Hive armament, it's always better to have a cell build than not. Yeah? If you can fit it into your slots. So we've got a cell here, so we're going to prep this champ. It doesn't take many bullets for me to get a shield break with this auto. So. But we do have enhanced auto on if we do need to get a quick reload in between and whatnot. We also use the champions as a way of farming up our server, which you'll see me do that later on. As obviously Ancestral Nighthawk is very valuable in this Nightfall, with what damage you can do on high priority targets and the boss. So with the second ogre now, same thing, we're going to get the ogre weak-ish. Like not weak, but we're going to edge the boss, the ogre. Once we've edged, we will make sure we get our crit. If you get a body, it will not kill the ogre, so try to get your body. If you don't, you're going to have to finish the ogre off with Jotunn. So when that happens, you'll have 2 Solar Knights, 2 Arcshielding Knights, and a bunch of Acolytes. What you want to do is probably not try to skip. The reason why I wouldn't skip, I did do it on my other characters. Can't mind, I think I did on the Titan. But you don't want to be skipping too much because with the modifier Void and aerial damage is increased. Aerial, it's like grounded almost. Okay? You get wrecked when you start jumping past adds. So you're better off just clearing them. And plus you've got the ideal setup to clear adds. Now get a cell there, that's all the adds down. Get your turn to blind both wizard, go through. So it's just as well to quickly clear it, and not only that, you get ammo drops. You get ammo drops, so you're filling up on all your ammo. So as you want plenty of Jotunn at the very minimum. Sword ammo, don't use it so much. Obviously there's no guaranteed way, but the sword ammo finder helps out big time. If you haven't got the ammo finder on, you'll still be okay. Just put on enhanced sword scavenger, which doesn't require arc boots. It's a seasonal mod.
Squad of 9. Got picked off one by one. Watched
which so is counter charge and so is
and funnel it into some kind of crystal.
So with this section for orange bars, we're going to use the auto, get that cell. So again, we can just quickly take out all the crystals. Didn't realize the cell was procced already. Fine.
These are all guardians.
Fine, look at that. It's most of them anyways. The next section can be awkward, but we've got a golden gun for that. But basically what you want to do, there's two anti-barriers. There's one to your right, one to the left. You want to take out the left one because the acolytes converge to the right one. They hang around the right side but not the left side so much. So we get the left side champ weak. I mean, if you're confident the champ is not going to side roll into cover, do that. Which the way to stop the champ from sort of side, dodging like that, is to not do Jotunn, sort of stand there when you prep your champ and let the champ just boom a shot you. Then he's open to attack with a golden gun. With the second champ we can kind of play a bit more aggressive. We're looking for a cell. That's why you'll see sometimes I don't use Jotunn when you're thinking maybe I should, or speed it up, because I want that cell. I mean, Jotunn will spawn a cell as well actually off the champ. But the sword won't, so that's why I don't always go on sword champs. I do here and there, it depends. On these stopwells we do. Okay, so we're going to have wizards, void wizards again, which these aren't so bad to deal with. The cell is going to wake up the wizards, which isn't ideal, but we'll take it. Now we're going to use Jotunn on this champ. This champ's the most awkward one, I think, of the room. Again, we're going to make a cell, because we're always thinking about when we get our next cell, because we can spawn in the thrall, which spawn him when you get close to the wizards. Especially when the music changes. Get our cell, destroy that, and that takes that all thrall quickly. Spawning the next set of adds is done by picking up the orb. Once you picked up the orb, just leave it. I wouldn't bother juggling it. Concentrate on what you're doing with the champs and the adds. No need to. There's no pressure to be juggling a relic. Okay? If you really want to, you can, but it's not a big thing. Now we get our next cell, so we're gonna destroy that. Because Martyr's on, it doesn't destroy the curse, but it gets them close. Prep the next champion as well. We're going to use our golden gun. Since we're getting it all the time, we may as well use it to save up on ammo and stuff. We've got loads of ammo behind us as well. The thing about this build, what I like, is I'm always an advocate of primary special heavy. That's how I like to play Destiny. I don't like to play double special heavy. I get that there's builds for that and there's ways and means of doing it, but it just doesn't feel. I like to run primary special heavy. Okay? This build, it makes you want to clear adds with your primary only, because you always want yourself. I mean, I know there's you know, the Icolos sniper and the shotgun and stuff, but it's real nice having a cell generated via primaries. Okay? So that's what makes good about the build. And not only that, you'll never run out of ammo if you play like this, you know, because that's what your primary is. You're meant to be doing things with your primary 60-70% of the time using that weapon. It is cool that we can run double special, I get that, but I like having strong primaries in the game. Now we're going to pick up the relic for the next wave of adds. You need to bring the orb to this room. That will then spawn in the Unstoppables, the 3 of them. We're going to use the Inferno Whip and the Gambler's Dodge combination to make sure we take them all out with Fallen Guillotine. We're going to bait the champion over here. I advise you do it with each one, just to make sure, because if 2 of them push you, this strat's going to be wrecked. Okay? You're going to be playing too risky if you're getting 2 on you at the same time. What I've done there is I stun the champion first, get a dodge first before we do damage, so I get my thrown knife back, and then guillotine. You have plenty of time in one stop with guillotine to take out the ogre, so there's enough time to get a dodge in between. Now we'll be at our second unstoppable. Same again, we'll come back. Make sure we get a charge on our heavy. If you notice, my heavy wasn't the heavy attack wasn't fully spawned in, like not spawned in but recharged. This will not recharge if you do not have the sword equipped. So always think, is your heavy recharge on the sword for whatever reason. We'll get our last stun. We're not doing a dodge this time. finish the last one off. We don't need Inferno Whip any longer. So now with the double Shrieker dunk, we want to take out all acolytes in the room above, in front of us, of course. If you go in there with a relic and you're behind a pillar, that could be a wipe, because the acolytes will force you out of cover by doing a nade. That's just how they work. That will then mean that the Shriekers will then, you know, be able to get you. Because of the mods, Void and Aerial, they're going to wreck you instant. So you want to make sure the full room's clear. I've looked, and it seems to be, but don't always count on that. So what you want to do is go to the orb, pick up your orb, but you can look down below. This will give you confirmation there's no acolytes. There's my confirmation, no acolytes, we're good. Pick up our orb. Then we go for our double dunk. So like I said, these Shriekers can be blinded, they can be tethered, they can be suppressed, they can, you know, by suppression nade, Titan. Wendigo, blinding nade, grenade launchers, truth teller. There's a lot of different ways of handling them, but our setup doesn't tailor for that. We're just wanting to get the dunk and get past him. And all subclasses can do this. We'll wait behind the left pillar. The right Shrieker will stop. When the right Shrieker stops shooting, that's when we get our dunk, and not before. If you try to go when they're both shooting, they will take you out, 100%. But that's where we get the checkpoint, as you see, spawn in. You don't lose score for champions. The game still remembers how many champions you've killed. You still end up getting platinum. Okay? So it's not a problem.
We have to turn the crystals against the Hive.
But there are no powered crystals in this chamber. What's
So we
plan
took out
B?
both wizards with the void sword. Obviously we have
Never
to, which isn't
We're
a big
going with that
deal.
plan.
We don't need any. We don't need much sword ammo
Not
from
yet.
here on out. What we're going to do with this section is we're going to run past all the ads in the night. It's important for the strat. Do a dodge behind, through that corridor. You're kind of getting stuck. That just gets you past. And then after that, we can just sort of
She sacrificed herself.
run for damage. Now, the wanted target behind us is on a timer, and it's still on a timer right now, even when we start the boss fight up. This is good. We can take advantage of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do as much, like, we're going to do a bit of damage, and we're not going to take too long. So we're going to do, I think, 4 Jotunn shots. And our goal is to get the boss half HP of the first segment. Okay? Then when there's an audio cue, that's when we get our thrall. This section where I am behind this rock, the boss can't really hit us. So we can use our sword to take any thrall out. We're prepping the boss. That's about right. And then we're going to wait for our health. My recovery's not very good, but that's fine. Because of all the other mods we've put on. Then we'll come to this hill here, as more of the thrall that we've missed will come into us. They come near us. At that point, we're good. We're going to go back to the exit. The wanted target's still on a timer, and the wanted target has a solar shield, which is perfect. We can get shield break charge, meaning we've got 20% damage buff for our Jotunn. That's ideal. And then this is where we can do our... We're still technically on the first teleport, okay? That's why we've done half HP. Any more than half HP, the boss will then teleport to the second phase. Now you end up getting way more damage, and if you just optimize this one little thing, it means you only have to 2-phase the fight rather than 3 or 4. That's a big deal because there's unstoppables and whatnot. So we're going to do a Nighthawk first, then we're going to do a Jotunn. My shot hit this obstacle in front of us. So I hit 4 shots rather than 5, so my DPS was a little less than where it should have been. But the charge of light, like I said, saved it. Now we're going to get our next wave of ads. We will have to deal with these anti-barriers, but on the next wave, 3 unstoppables spawn in. We don't need to kill them because we'll have the boss killed before then, and we will also get platinum. Because how the platinum mechanic works is, when a champion has appeared, if that champion hasn't been killed, then you're going to get gold, bronze, silver, what have you. But if the champion hasn't spawned in, it only accounts for the champions you've killed up until that point. If the boss is dead, that will end the activity. Therefore, the game will determine if you've killed all champions that have spawned in the game. And technically, we have, so we've still got platinum. Even though we haven't killed the free unstoppables, we didn't give them a chance to spawn in. So we deal with the champion in front of us first. We had a cell earlier that decimated all the acolytes. We also need to farm up another golden gun. You need at least 5 or 6 Jotunn ammo minimum. As we need, as like I said, we want to get a 2-phase in to get this run done and over with. We're going to farm the golden gun with practice makes perfect off this champion. And what we want to do here is get the champion low enough that he's basically killable with a couple of auto shots while moving over to a good place for damage. Yeah? It's all about where you damage the boss. So we're going to get the last stun and we'll finish off the champ, immediately swap to Jotunn. We do 3 shots, get a reload. We do a golden gun. The boss's crit spot is always that side. Then we just finish with Jotunn. Now generally the boss would have been dead by now if I'd hit my prior shots and tried to have the Jotunn seek to the middle of the boss. If the Jotunn seeks to the spikes, you're going to get immune, and that's where you lost your damage. I think 1 or 2 of my shots could have been immune. It's the first time watching it back. That's basically how to easily do it on a hunter. To me, it's easier than Nighthawk. You don't need invis, just because we can do the 2-phase solo and get the platinum still. That was a run. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.